Jordan, go ahead.
Hey, LD, you're a guy that has one of the more experienced guys on the team. You've experienced more normal off seasons. You've also experienced the pandemic off seasons. With this year, kind of having things more opened up, how important do you think that is for your development, but also the team's development and some of these young guys that haven't really had that normal off season heading into a football season?
Oh, that's big. That's really big, especially because like I'm thinking about the guys that got here when COVID started and the off season that they got to have, and it's only so much you can really try to do. Like when you're sent home and you're on your own, you're not getting that college off season, you know. And so I mean, we were thankful to get what we did get out of it, but it's not the same as being here with all the guys, all the energy in the weight room, just being around your teammates with the actual program that you're doing with your coaches. You know, it's nothing like that. I mean, this is my third or fourth time. I don't know, I'm not sure, but it's yeah, it's nothing like this. It's light years better than the COVID off season.
Olivia.
Hi, I'm Olivia. Kind of off that question to an extent, you've been able to make an impact on this team since you were 17. How would you describe this team versus the past teams you've played on? Has it been any different? How would you describe this team that'll take the field this fall?
I mean, the thing about every team that is consistent, no matter what school you go to, is you're gonna lose who you lose. Like freshman year, we lose Brandon Ayuk, we lose Eno Benjamin, we lose Cole Cabral. And then after that, we have guys we lose. Then after this past season, we have Rashad White, we have Donovan West, Kellen Dees. Like every year you lose these players. And I just feel like the thing that has remained like on the incline since I've got here is the mesh of the team, how we come together, how we love each other, how we just, you know, fit together. Like our culture here has been on the climb no matter what outside noise we've ever had. The culture and mindset we have here is always, since I've been here at least, I've seen on the incline.
Michael.
With that culture that you've been talking about, how does that help guys coming into new positions, coming into new roles? How does that help them get adjusted to things?
What was that? Can you repeat that?
With the culture that you talked about, with helping the team mesh together, how does that help guys get acclimated to new roles, maybe in the system, in the offense, in the defense, etc.?
I think it's just big. Like when you have, not in negative, not to speak negatively in any past teams, but I feel like when you have leadership across the board on a team, I'm just gonna use the offense for example. When you have a guy that you feel is a respected leader in the receiver room, the O-line room, the quarterback room, the running back room, like all these different rooms, it's easy for us to be on the same page about this is how we're going to do things. When we're doing a walkthrough, this is what it should look like. Like there is no when we're walking through, we're going, you know, and just even the little things. I feel like a lot of people look at leadership like it's supposed to be like this one, you know, alpha Pat Tillman guy barking at everybody, but the really thing that changes cultures that is the little things, you know, and so I feel like that's a big reason why I feel like it could be easier for guys to step into new roles or get acclimated into a new system is because our attention to detail has been different.
Jonah.
You were talking about earlier about losing players and the outside noise, right? So, and then for this upcoming season, I mean, we don't really even know what this team is going to look like, right? Because after the portal, you lost some guys, and so it's still sort of going to be a new team, and you lost an offensive lineman as well in that depth. So, with all that sort of outside noise, with some of the changing, how do you block out the noise and just sort of close it out and focus internally and play your game?
Well, thing is, if you're a really big media guy, you know, really into following all that stuff, the consistent word that you see or hear is lost, 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 lost. And you hardly ever really hear gained, gained, gained. So it's almost as if we've just lost a bunch of players and haven't gotten any. And if that's the case, we don't have enough people to play a game at all. So I've focused a lot on the people that want to be here, the people that are here now, and the people that we've gained. Because, I mean, to be quite honest, every loss isn't a bad loss, And not saying every game's a great game, but we sure do have some good ones when I look around this locker room, some really good games. And that makes me optimistic for this team. That makes my teammates optimistic for this. And when we're more optimistic, we believe in each other, I feel like that's a dangerous team, a team that believes in themselves. So, yeah.
Michael.
Yeah, LD, to kind of piggyback off that, I mean, like you said, every loss isn't a bad loss, like every game isn't a great game. But when offensive line wise, I mean, it's obviously about chemistry, the guy next to you, what you guys are doing as a unit. And like you talked about before, losing some guys, in your years here, like guys that have been leaders on the thing. How do you, in this offseason with what you've brought in and lost, but how do you kind of put a fast forward to kind of trek the chemistry of this offensive line? What are some of the challenges you face with that?
The thing is, with this offensive line, I know probably every team probably says this every year, like, oh, this might be the best line we've had yet. But the mentality of this offensive line might be the best we've had yet. Obviously, ever since I've been in college, I feel like forever I've played with Donovan West. Like, me and Donovan West talk all the time. He's probably one of my best friends for life. Whenever I'm married, he'll probably be my best man. But Donovan, like, obviously that's a big loss. But with the guys that we gained, I do think I think offensive line is all about mentality. Like, that's really what it is. Like, do you want to obliterate the guy in front of you, or do you not? And when we have guys like Des Holmes, we just got from Penn State, Emmett Bowles, just all these guys, Joey Ramos, like Isai Glass, just all these guys. Ben Scott, they're dogs, and I love that. And we have 5 guys, older guys that really just want to do that and be physical and dominate people. I feel like we're gonna be pretty good. And if we weren't, trust me, I tell you, I'd be like, I don't know, but I really, I really do think we're gonna be really good.
Jordan.
Kind of off that topic, LD, offensive line, like off the field, how you guys are meshing. Is it like a brotherly love? Is it a super supportive thing? Are you guys like on each other's butts the entire time, like talking crap to each other? Like, how are the interactions going kind of off the field to build that camaraderie?
Oh, overall, like as a group, yeah, it's a brotherly love. Yes, and love each other. We hang out with each other, but yeah, through our little personal interactions, like me and Emmett, we're always competing about something. Just always like just making just joking with each other. Because before Emmett got here, I feel like I was the fastest lineman, and now that he's here, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't won many races. Emmett is fast, so that's something that me and him compete on. So me and him are always competing in the weight room. But there's just this level of just respect and love for one another that we just want to be great. We all have a common goal. I'm pretty sure everybody in that room has aspirations of playing in the NFL, so it's easy to motivate these guys. And I feel like leadership is perceptive, and a lot of people feel like, oh, you're the leader, you just gotta bark, bark, bark. But I mean, if that's what you're doing, eventually people are going to turn it off, So I feel like to really be a good leader, it involves loving guys. So when you have to get on their butt, they really accept it. They really listen. They really change. And that's what's my experience been. But these guys aren't even guys that have really even been needing that, because we have a lot of self-motivated, self-driven guys in that room. And that's what I think is going to make us really good.
Chris, go ahead.
Hey, LaDarius. You have a new coordinator on offense. You're going to have a new starting quarterback. You settled in through the spring. What do you think the identity of this offense really is going to be? And what does Emory Jones potentially add to the mix?
Oh, first off, I'm going to say Emory has been really impressive. I like him a lot. He's great, messed with the team well. I think he is fitting this scheme very well. Obviously, we've only really got to do just like minimal like on air stuff with him, but it's been great. Identity of this offense, as a lineman, I'd hope that we'd be running the ball a ton. That's what I'm about. But I'm honestly I really like doing it all. But I don't know. I feel like with the potential, like not potential, but the differences that this offense is going to have from last season, I'm very optimistic about it. The identity of it is going to be, I don't know. Is that something I can say on here? I'm not sure. I don't know if that's, I don't know if I can even speak on that too much. I don't want to say too much, but, I'm very optimistic about it.
Any other questions? Jordan, go ahead.
I think for a majority of probably people in your program, when they look back to when they started playing football, it was back when they were a kid and they were like, oh yeah, I didn't know what I was doing and that sort of thing. But when you look back to when you picked up football, second half of your high school career, what impresses you the most about how much you've been able to grow and, all the ground you've been able to cover in such a short time?
I think it honestly helps me a ton because I feel like starting so late, I was always playing catch up. So I was always trying to outwork people. So I could feel like I'm catching up. And even when I did, you can say catch up, it just still doesn't feel like it. I feel like, okay, well, now I got to catch the Evan Nils and Kenyon Greens of the world because some people think they're better than me. So what I got to do now to, do that. And then once I get there, then I got to try to catch the next, what I'm saying. But I don't know. I feel like that's been watching that progress has been pretty awesome and amazing for me. It's kind of turned me into a football junkie. I mean, I love it. Like I watch film for fun, to be honest with you sometimes. But I don't know, I guess it's just created a work ethic and like really just a love for the game that I feel like you kind of need to really be great at it. So I love it. I don't regret starting late at all.
Olivia.
You just kind of touched on work ethic and kind of having to work a little harder sometimes off the field. Are you doing anything outside of team stuff this summer?
Yeah, so I actually I do a lot of training with Dominic Raiola. That's what I did a lot last season. But having guys like that in my corner that I can talk to about other things. Coach Cav, he's phenomenal, but he can't really coach us legally in the summer. I don't know like the rule on that. Just our coaches can't be our personal trainers, So they can only coach us so much. So with that, and then with the offensive line, we come in on off days like this and get footwork together. And what I've really learned with myself that I tried to, after this past season, I went back and watched every game a couple of times with my friend Donovan West and kind of tried to just key in on what was I really not that good at or what could really help me be better, and keyed in on a few things. And I feel like, for one, okay, last year I played at 310 with about almost 25% body fat. So if I play, and I feel like I played pretty quickly, I like the speed I played at. So I'm like, okay, what would it look like to be 310 this year and possibly 22% body fat? Or what does it look like if I can bend better? Or what does it look like if, like, do I block 3 techs better than I block 1 techs? And I kind of figured those things out and jotted those things down. And I've tried to attack my weaknesses in a way this past offseason, which I'm still doing. And Coach Cav has been encouraging me to learn. Like, I feel like I know about two or three positions on the offensive line to try to learn all of them. So I've been doing that too this offseason.
Ethan.
Going back to Emory Jones, is there anything specifically that kind of impresses you about him?
Yeah, yes. Just one, I really like his his character, personality meshes well with the team. He already has a leader spirit, even though he just got here. I mean, obviously there's some wisdom in when you first arrive somewhere. You kind of want to get your feet settled under you before you really do that. But I personally feel like if he stepped into a leadership role right now, it wouldn't be a bad of an eye from many people on the team. I really do like the way he carries himself. Not to mention in practice, has a nice ball, but and he obviously looks the part, and he just respect the guy. He can't really do too many things that we frown upon here, so we've been very impressed.
Michael.
Yeah, LD, I know you're focused on your team, but with all, I guess all the additions in the Pac-12, the new coaches, what do you see from the rest of the conference that maybe they've improved on that you guys have to chase down?
Oh, I'm not really sure. I feel like they should be personally. I don't know if they want me to say this or what my script is, but I never really feel like the chaser more than I feel like the chasee. So I feel like they should. They're not. The thing is, I feel like they should be worried about us, but they're not. Let's be honest, they're not, according to the media. So we're just gonna use that to our advantage, and we're just gonna do what we do, and we're gonna play our game. We're gonna be more internally worried about things than externally for a little bit, at least, just for now.
Michael.
You were just talking about Emory Jones. You were talking about all the players you've gained in the offseason. What do you think is going to be the most important thing for this team transitioning into this season with a whole bunch of new players?
Most important thing, other than like the regular important things like tackling, blocking, and catching and throwing, other than stuff like that, I think it's just gonna be just buying in and doing your job. Because at the end of the day, no matter who SC gets, no matter how um, how what's the word disciplined Utah is, or how good U of A thinks they are, no matter who anybody is, if your players buy in and do their job, that's how you win football games. That's what it is. That's all it is. No matter how many stars you have, everybody is good. Everybody, all of us know how to play football in the locker room. Everybody's locker room. Whoever buys in and does their job is who's going to win the game. So as a leader here, I'm going to try to make sure that players and my teammates are all on the same accord, same page, and we're going to go in, we're going to play our game, we're going to do our job, and we're going to win games.
Any final questions? All right. Thanks, LD.
No problem. Thank you, guys.